You're not gonna make it.
About white supremacists
Give him a shot.
is at least they're white, you know? You gotta love that, at least. Is anyone know how the Nazis are doing? Has anybody heard? Are the Nazis okay? I know they were having a march. Saw it, and I was like, oh no, like oh god, I hope I didn't miss the Nazi march, you know? By like 80 years. Like whatever happened to the other two Reichs? I know the first one must have been cool. Like I know the third one ended badly, but the first one must have been pretty cool, you know? Cause like you don't make a sequel. That's the first one was like pretty good. Black actors never get to play Nazis. That's racism. You know, I'm down with white separatists. I'm okay. I think they should consider Mars. Like, there's no Negroes on the moon, you know what I'm saying? Richard Spencer's banned from half of Europe. I think that's ironic. I think it's ironic that Trump's son is barren when we all wish his mother was. Apparently Trump likes to eat McDonald's because he's afraid that someone's gonna poison him. Who would do that? You know, who? I don't know. I think maybe he just thinks he owns the company. He likes seeing his name on the food. Joke's on you, Donald. McDonald's is poison. It's like you can tell Trump raped someone, but it's like it doesn't count because he wasn't wearing a sombrero. Yeah. I don't know. Make some noise if you're racist. Confederates. I think Confederates don't get enough credit for how frugal they were. They really knew how to pinch a penny. It's weird being black in America. Like, we don't get invited to auctions anymore. We used to get all the invites. I heard that Ben Affleck went on some TV show and found out about his ancestry. He found out that some plantation-owning Affleck in the past purchased an African boy for $80 and named him Toby. So I'm trying to figure out like why were there no Afflecks in the reboot of Roots? What's up with that casting? Fire somebody. Let's do some Black history.
Give him some water.
You guys may know that George Washington Carver. You may have heard of George Washington Carver. He was obsessed with nuts. I think it could be because he was castrated as a child. A lot of people don't know that. They wanted to move him in the house with a white girl and just to be safe, just in case. Some more Black history. There's something they taught me in school. There's a fellow who mailed himself to freedom. Slaved African mailed himself to freedom. And I assume on the same plantation there was another guy who was like, that nigga mailed himself to freedom. He mailed himself. He put himself in the crate. He nailed it up. He put the address on the outside. He put the stamp on it. He mailed himself to freedom. And if he was a good friend, he would have mailed me too. Motherfucker. You guys are sweet. You guys are really adorable. You're not probably gonna like this joke. I'm gonna tell it anyway. Cool. Lot of young black men getting shot in the back of cop cars. It makes me wonder, do police not watch Tarantino films? Like, I don't understand. That's a lot of cleanup. I grew up in DC. Actually, I'm from Maryland. And for some reason, we had like a feud with Virginia. I don't really know why. But I thought about it, like Virginia is named for the Virgin Queen. Like that's a weird way to name a place. Like what if she was into butt stuff? Annapolis is for lovers. I wish I wrote that tag. That tag was a gift from a fellow named Mark. He's Mark Sulfite. He fucking hooked me up with that shit. Thank you, Mark. Growing up in the DC area, I realized at a certain point, like my grandmother was right there for the entire civil rights movement. And the next time I saw her, I had to ask, like, Grandma, what was it like? You were there for the March on Washington. You were there for the I Have a Dream speech. What was it like? And my grandmother said, oh, your grandfather wasn't interested in all of that. I went to the Holocaust Museum one time while I was home. It was empty. I just walked through, saw all the shoes. I saw this child-size and adult-size uniform from Auschwitz. No one was around. You're not supposed to touch it, but I reached through and touched it. It was rough canvas. Someone coursed through me, and I wept like a grieving widow. Then I found a Pikachu. I'm really inspired. Really inspired by the civil rights movement. Like so much so, I want to make a movie. It's a porno. We open on Rosa Parks going. All right, anyway. I couldn't follow through. I couldn't do it. My ancestors are in the building. I'm sorry. You know what? I think I'm blaspheming enough. Thank you.
Hey.